What's going on, everybody? It's the one and only Q from Retro Q Gaming, and we are going to do something very slightly different. And why do I still have this tab open? So, what are we going to do here? Great start to the video, by the way. We're going to look at the Game Critics Awards Best of E3 2018 nominees. Now, the reason we're going to do that is because, like I did with the Video Game Awards, I think it was at the end of last year, the end of 2017, it's very interesting to see what the general public perceives as quality stuff and deserving of awards and whatnot as well. So we're going to go through there. What we're going to do is, like, I haven't looked through this list at all. I haven't even looked through what's here in front of me, because obviously there's a couple on the screen here. But from what I'm looking at right now, as I can see, there doesn't seem to be any rules or any guidelines on how they're voting for anything, so it seems to just be anything that was shown at E3. That's my guess for it. Now we're going to do this in two separate ways. Well, not so much two separate ways, but we're going to read out a section and then I'm going to break it down into two separate ways. One, there's what I think should win, and one and one, yeah, that's good. And two, we're going to look at what I think will probably win. Now, just so it's not me droning on for the next 20 minutes or however long this takes, let's get going with a little bit of background ambiance. Hopefully that's good. So, let's get into this anyway. So, for the Game Critics Awards nominees Best of E3 2018, the first off we have Best of Show. So, the nominees for this one are Anthem, Marvel's Spider-Man, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, Anthem, I don't think should win this at all, because the game looks like a mess, and the game is going to be a mess. It's going to be Destiny, well, it's not so much Destiny 2, I was going to say Destiny 2, but it's going to be EA Presents Destiny. When this game launches, it's just going to be Destiny 2. A month after launch, this game is going to be dead, because everyone realizes they've already capped out everything, and there's absolutely nothing to do. So, the rest of the stuff on here, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, it's a Dark Souls game. So we already know how the terrible fan base are actually latched onto this game already. Smash Brothers does not deserve to be in this game or in this category whatsoever. But what I do think will probably win this would probably be Marvel's Spider-Man. A lot of people are hyped for that game. Obviously a lot of people are hyped for Resident Evil 2 as well, but I think Marvel's Spider-Man has maybe a 60-40 chance of beating Resident Evil 2. Personally, I hope Resident Evil 2 wins it, and that's my nomination for what I think should win Best of Show. But again, I'm a little bit biased. Resident Evil 2 looks fantastic, and I absolutely love the game and the series, short of maybe Resident Evil 6, one of the worst games I've ever played. Anyway, moving on. Best Original Game. So this is going to be something that has no prequel, has no second installment, no anything in the franchise, none of that good stuff. Or, well, bad stuff, potentially. But anyway, Best Original Game, we have Anthem, Days Gone, Dreams, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and Skull and Bones. I'm not recalling off the top of my head what Skull and Bones actually is. I see here it's an Ubisoft game, so it may have been shown during the Ubisoft press conference, which I didn't watch because Ubisoft are a trash publisher who make trash games, but it doesn't ring a bell, so that's all I can say from that point anyway. So Best Original Game, let's go through these again. Anthem, we've already covered. We've covered that in the Best of Show thing. Sure, the graphics look decent, but the gameplay is probably going to be terrible. Every system about it will probably be terrible because, well, it's EA Presents Destiny. Days Gone. I do think Days Gone will probably win this. Originally when Days Gone was shown off for the first couple of times, it looked like an indie wannabe, frankly crap, version of The Last of Us. However, they've shown off some new stuff earlier this year. I think it was just before E3. I want to say it was just maybe May or April, where the game has received some significant polish and it no longer looks like a crappy low-budget indie game, which is very promising for people who want it. I'm not really interested in it myself, but I do think that, again, it probably has about a 60-40 chance of beating Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice for this award. Now, the other game we have on here is Dreams. Dreams is a Media Molecule game, as you can see there on the screen. Media Molecule are Little Big Planet, so it is basically a 3D version of Little Big Planet. That's all I can really say. So, like I said, I do think Days Gone is gonna probably have a 60-40 chance of beating Sekiro in this one. What do I think will win this one? Or what do I think deserves to win this one? I don't know. I'm not interested in any of these games, but I would say, in my opinion, ever so slightly, I think Days Gone would probably beat out Sekiro as well. Just because Sekiro is it's Samurai Dark Souls. It's something we've seen beaten to death at this point. You've got Demon Souls, you've got Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, you've got fucking Lovecraftian Dark Souls, which is just Bloodborne, and now we have Weeaboo Dark Souls. It's the same thing, basically. Now, of course, a lot of Dark Souls fanboys are going to be giving me shit in the comments section. Feel free, you know, I'm the meme right now. Dark Souls is crap. Change my mind. There you go. Do that. So that's what I think anyway. Best console game. Obligatory lol consoles. But anyway, let's move along. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Obviously it's for PS4 and Xbox One because we're not including the PC ones here. Dreams. Hipster's Dreams, that is. Marvel Spider-Man. Resident Evil 2. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This one actually has 6 in the category rather than 5 of the other two. Kind of makes sense because there's 3 consoles to worry about in there. Although you can't really count Nintendo Switch. I mean, so far we've seen 1 Switch game. That's actually going to be interesting when we get towards the bottom. See how many of these are actually coming to Switch. I'm going to assume it's nothing but Smash Brothers. So, best console game. I don't think Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to win this at all. Not just because I don't like Ubisoft, but just because from what I'm hearing about, it looks like a complete rehash of Assassin's Creed... What was the one last year? Origins. I was going to call it Unity, but Assassin's Creed Origins. I mean, they both start with O. It's the same basic deal. One was Egypt, one was Greece, and it still uses the wannabe Borderlands thing, and a lot of people weren't too happy about that. But I feel like it's going to be more the same. Dreams is just a hipster game. It doesn't really count, and it shouldn't really count. It was basically the equivalent of voting for PUBG in like last year's Video Game Awards thing. So, Marvel Spider-Man, I do think will probably win this, to be honest. Resident Evil 2 would be my pick to win this. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice could also possibly win this. And Super Smash Bros. Does not deserve to win this. Depending on how this is actually voted, obviously we don't see anything here, and how the votes are tallied up and whatnot, it wouldn't surprise me if the extremely overzealous Nintendo fanboys would all swarm Smash Bros. Because, hey, we finally get a game in there, so yeah, let's make sure it wins. So, anyway, back to the real point. What do I think is going to win this? Probably Marvel Spider-Man 2 when it comes to best console game. Actually, it's very weird. I just noticed, when you think best console game, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, and The Last of Us 2 aren't in there. So there must be some sort of criteria that we're not seeing somewhere for all this. Maybe it's listed further down below, I don't know, but we'll get to it anyway. So again, what do I think is going to win this? Marvel Spider-Man has probably the best chance of winning it, followed by Resident Evil 2, followed by Sekiro. Now, personally, I want to see Resident Evil 2 win it, but that's just me. So best VR and AR game. A lot of these I don't really recall. Obviously, I see them all being PlayStation VR and 1 or 2 of them there for PC as well. But the PlayStation conference was so poorly laid out and designed that I can't even remember most of the non like 4 games they focused on. It's very, yeah. Astrobot Rescue Mission. Again, I don't remember any of that whatsoever. D-Racing? Again, no idea there. Echo Combat. This one's for PC. I don't even remember this one for PC for Echo Combat. Tetris Effect. Well, it's Tetris. And Trover Saves the Universe. I am tapping out on the best VR and AR games. I do not remember any of these whatsoever. Simply because the 4 of them are PSVR, and the PlayStation conference was so poor in that regard that almost anything outside the 4 main games they were talking about and Resident Evil 2 reveal, or whatever you want to call it, or trailer, or whatever the fuck you want to look at it as, who remembers basically anything from it? See? So, I'm actually going to have to give a pass on that. Best PC game. Anthem, Battlefield 5, Metro Exodus, Rage 2, and Total War 3 Kingdoms. Now, personally, I think... Well, let's see. How am I going to word this properly? So, in my opinion, what needs to win this? Or what do I want to see win this? Metro Exodus. You know, I don't even have the books beside me now. I used to have Metro 2033, and I just recently ordered Metro 2034 and 2035. They both came just the other day, but I put them up in the other room, so I can't wave them in front of the camera. but that's beside the point. Metro Exodus looks fantastic. I can't wait for it. Hopefully it doesn't let me down, because the like semi-open, non-linear levels that are not every level and not the base format for the game, that has me worried. But hopefully the rest of the game and the quality of the story and the quality of the gameplay from 4A Games can keep me going. What do I think has a real chance of actually winning this from the public perception? Metro Exodus or Total War 3 Kingdoms. Simply because this is listed as best PC game. So Total War are great PC games. Obviously I much prefer Metro Exodus, but when it comes to PC stuff, Total War 3 Kingdoms is definitely a viable contender to win. So, best hardware or peripheral. The Neo Geo Mini, the Pokeball Plus, Starlink Battle for Atlas, fuck that thing. Vantage controller for PS4, fuck that thing as well. And the Xbox Adaptive Controller. Now what do I think should win this is very different. It's very strange, because most of this stuff I think is stupid and don't care about. The Pokeball Plus is a joke. It's terrible. I don't know why anyone would pay that money. And I say that as a huge Pokemon fan and someone who plays Pokemon Go basically every day. Of course I don't go out specifically to play it. I play it on the way to and back from places that I'm already going to, just to fill the time. So anyway, Starlink is a complete joke. It's an Ubisoft game that is basically shovelware put onto the Nintendo Switch, and it just put Star Fox into it. I know it's got that little kind of weird statue thing, but no, it's not for me. It's an Ubisoft game anyway. So the Vantage controller, no, it's just stop with this bullshit from the third-party Sony stuff. It's terrible. And the Xbox Adaptive Controller, I think the Xbox Adaptive Controller is going to win it just because of what it's actually promoting. It's promoting accessibility to people with all sorts of mental and physical disabilities and drawbacks, to incorporate them into gaming and make it more accessible in every way, shape or form for them. I think that one is going to win. Realistically, the only one I would possibly want to win this is the Neo Geo Mini, just because it's the only one I'm somewhat semi-interested in. And I even say semi because I'm barely interested in a Neo Geo Mini. I like a lot of stuff on it. It just doesn't look like the best version of what we could have, essentially. So the best action game, we have Anthem, Battlefield 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Metro Exodus and Rage 2. Now, I think for me, obviously it's Metro Exodus here. I don't like Anthem, I don't like Battlefield anymore, I don't like Call of Duty anymore, and I think Rage 2 is probably going to flop like the first game, or be panned like the first game. So what do I think is going to be the actual popular answer for all of this? Part of me wants to say Battlefield 5, part of me wants to say Black Ops 4. I'm going to go with a weird split on this one. I'm going to go with, let me see if I can do this correctly. Did some quick math in my head here. I'm going to say Battlefield 5 has a 35% chance of winning this, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has a 35% chance of winning this, and Metro Exodus has a 30% chance of winning this. From the public and the game critic, or whoever is in charge of all this, I think that's how it's going to go. I want to see Metro win this. I would personally give this to Metro, because Black Ops 4 definitely does not deserve to win this. With all the cutbacks they've had and how essentially basic it's going to be, you get my point. And Battlefield, of course, could be praised for being more Battlefield. As much as it kills me to say, the Frostbite 3 engine is very good, and I'm very, I won't say happy with it, but I'm proud to see some companies are pushing the graphical envelope in the likes of, say, ID Tech 6, Unreal Engine 4, and, as much as it kills me, Frostbite 3. And of course Metro, because Metro is just probably going to be a quality game. So best action adventure game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I was going to call it Mario Odyssey for a second, Marvel's Spider-Man, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Now, straight up, I think this is just what we've seen before with one of the other games. This is probably going to go with Marvel's Spider-Man or possibly Resident Evil 2. I do think Marvel's Spider-Man has the better chance of winning this. Personally, I would give it to Resident Evil 2. You never know with how this is all handled. If the votes are done by the public or whatever, the fanboys will make sure that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice actually wins this. But there's no chance Odyssey, Tomb Raider, or The Division 2 should win this, and I don't think they would at all. Best RPG, Divinity Original Sin. I want to make a joke about this, just because it says for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, because the game launched last year on PC. But it was very, very well acclaimed and very well received, and obviously it's been ported over. So we'll give them that. It was obviously shown at some way. Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Funnily enough, it says PC, PS4 and Switch, although we all know the Switch version is almost vaporware at this point and is going to be an absolute joke when it comes out. Kingdom Hearts 3, Octopath Traveler, look, another Switch game, an actual Switch game, unlike Dragon Quest, and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Now, this is a very curious one. What do I want to see win this? I'm not sure. I want to see either Dragon Quest or Kingdom Hearts. For two reasons. One, I'm going to buy both of those games. In fact, I've already bought Dragon Quest XI. I haven't bought Kingdom Hearts yet. I've technically pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts, but I haven't paid for it yet, obviously. But Dragon Quest, I've actually pre-ordered on Steam, just because. Now, what do I think will actually win this? I think this is a two-way tie. I think this is 50-50 and could go either way. This could go straight to Kingdom Hearts 3 or straight to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Now, I don't think Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee should win this at all. But this isn't me voting for this. I'm still not even sure who this is. I'm still not sure if it's the public or if it's the game critics or whatever. And we all know that in current year 2018, it's always the hot thing to dick ride the Switch and dick ride everything on the Switch. Even the poor ports like Doom and Wolfenstein and whatnot. Payday, the list goes on. But it's the hot thing to dick ride this. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is, from my opinion, as someone who's played pretty much every major Pokemon game, I think this is just a poor man's version. I say poor man's version because it still costs full price and version of Pokemon Go just on the Switch. I think it's a joke. I don't think it should win it, but it's hot to dick ride. So, you know how they're gonna go. Kingdom Hearts is obvious for obvious reasons. It's Kingdom Hearts, it's Square Enix, it's Disney, and the Kingdom Hearts games are actually good. At least the main entries in the series are good. There's a couple of other ones like Dream Drop Distance and one of the PSP games that has the card battles and all that. They're kind of off, but when you look at the actual mainline game entries, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2 and 3, the gameplay in them is actually good. A lot of the stuff in them is actually good. So I could see it going 50-50 either way. Out of those two, I think Kingdom Hearts should win, and like you already have my prediction on what I think should win as well for Kingdom Hearts 3. So you know what I'll say? I'll say 51% Kingdom Hearts, 49% Pokemon. Even though I think it's sick how many YouTubers and how many gaming media, like legitimate gaming media, just dick ride the Switch because it's the Switch. It annoys me. I like the Switch. I have my Switch right here on my desk, but there's so much wrong with it, including the media. Anyway, that's my little Switch rant over. Best fighting game: Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Soul Calibur 6, and Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, this is a strange one because I'm not really fully up on the fighting game style. So what do I think is going to win this from my point of view? I think Smash Brothers will win this from my point of view. Or that's basically all I can say. I think Smash Brothers should win. Maybe like 75% Smash Brothers, 25% Jump Force. What do I think will win it from the public perception and all? I think Smash Brothers will just run away with this one. Jump Force might have a small chance, again, from the we'll just call it the public thing from now on, because again, I don't know if it's the critics or not. I know I'm saying that a million times now, but it factors in. You know how it is. So that's that anyway. There's not much to say in the fighting game stuff. It's the same way with sports and racing that I can see here next. There's not much I can say on these because I'm not into either of the genres. So, best racing game: F1 2018, Forza Horizon 4, Team Sonic Racing, Trials Rising, and The Crew 2. Don't know why I read those last two backwards. Anyway, what do I think should win this? Even though I don't care for any of these games, and I'm looking at it from I'll try to say an objective point of view as someone from the outside looking at the genre and what these games have to offer without really being invested in any one of these. I think on both sides, Forza Horizon 4 will win this. I think Forza Horizon 4 will win this from the public vote, and I think Forza Horizon should probably win this from my vote. Now, that's just me, but it's something I'm not really too familiar with and too well versed to talk about. Best sports game: FIFA 19, Mario Tennis Aces, and Pro Evolution Soccer. I think Mario's going to win this one, even though FIFA is probably like the biggest selling game every single year, with the possible exception of maybe this year because Rockstar are actually releasing a new game. That means they pretty much have the year on lock. But I think Mario Tennis Aces will win this one, just because it's, you know how places dick ride the Switch and Nintendo. Granted, from what I hear, it's a perfectly serviceable game and it's relatively enjoyable, but I mean, it's going up against 2 football games. There's 3 games in the category, 2 of which are football. 1 is a Mario game, Mario sports game, Mario Tennis, whatever you want to call it. You see my point. Best strategy game. Now, where we go? Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden, Total War 3 Kingdoms, 2 Point Hospital, and Wargroove. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. I don't remember much of Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden. I saw a little bit of it. The vague little flashes are coming back, but I don't think that's going to win it. But the next 3 are very interesting, simply because 2 Point Hospital, yes, I skipped Total War, 2 Point Hospital is a spiritual successor to a game that I love, which is Team Hospital. Absolutely love it. Great game, love it. Looks very, as it's supposed to, looks like a very spiritual successor version of it, which is all well and good, it makes sense. Should be pretty fun when it comes out. Probably won't win any awards or any major stuff like this. Wargroove. Wargroove looks good too, because it looks essentially like, since in the absence of Advance Wars, all we really have is Fire Emblem from Intelligent Systems. And at the same time, we're missing out on that. Now granted, Wargroove is a little bit more retro styled, or, well, retro, you'll see what I mean when I say retro style, than Advance Wars, in the sense that it's using like medieval stuff instead of tanks and planes and whatnot. I do think it definitely has a place. It looks like a fun game, but I think Total War 3 Kingdoms will absolutely slaughter this category in both sections. I think Total War should win it, and I think the public will say Total War should win it. Creative Assembly are amazing at what they do when it comes to strategy games on the PC, and, well, it's pretty obvious. So, what have we got here next? Oh, we're actually almost at the bottom. Oh, there's a note. Hang on, before we go any further. Note on game eligibility. To be eligible for nomination, games must be hands-on playable to voting publications for at least 5 minutes of gameplay during E3 2018. Due to this rule, the following games were disqualified: Battletoads, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Control, Crackdown 3, Cyberpunk 2077, I'm not sure if it's Demon or Damon, we call it Demon Ex Machina, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Doom Eternal, Dying Light 2, Fallout 76, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Gears 5, Gears Pop, Gears Tactics, Ghosts of Tsushima, Halo Infinite, Just Cause 4, Madden NFL 19, NBA Live 19, Neo 2, Super Mario Party, Stormland, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, The Last of Us Part 2, Wolfenstein Youngblood. Okay, so that makes it. The above non-playable titles remain eligible for special accommodations. Okay, so we see the special accommodations there, but it doesn't say much. So that explains why a lot of this stuff hasn't been appearing in lists, because when you look at games like Death Stranding, which everyone just dick rides because it's Kojima and probably doesn't deserve it whatsoever until we actually know some stuff about the game, because it is just a walking simulator so far, people. And The Last of Us Part 2, which does look great, so it's no surprise whether it's not on the list then. Anyway, back to our actual stuff that we're going to look at. Best family and social games: Dreams, Lego DC Supervillains, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Overcooked 2, and Mario Tennis Aces. I don't know what's going to win this. Well, actually, let me rephrase. I know what's going to win this, but I don't know what I think should win this. Pokemon is probably going to win this from the general consensus or whatever it is. From what we read at the bottom with the game eligibility thing, it seems like it's voted on by legitimate gaming media, and they all vote for it and whatnot. But I mean, they're a joke, so they're just gonna dick ride anything with a Switch on it. But at the same time, It's so hard to say. They're just going to dick right Pokemon. But when you look at everything else on here, best family and social game, Dreams isn't going to do it. Another Lego game probably isn't going to do it. It wouldn't surprise me if Mario won it, to be honest, but I still think Pokemon is going to win it. I don't think I can pick one for this that I think deserves to win it, because frankly nothing does. Nothing really does. None of them jump out as something crazy. Anyway, on to the next category. Best online multiplayer. So we have Anthem, Battlefield 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, LOL, Skull and Bones, and Tom Clancy's The Division 2. What do I think is going to win this, based on the public? It's either going to be Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5 even, because 4 is obviously a couple years old at this point. It's going to be Battlefield 5, or, because Dick Writing Media be Dick Writing Media, Destiny 2. What do I think should probably deserve to win this? I don't know, it's all very samey and boring when you look at it. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but what I think should probably win this is Battlefield 5. That kills me to say it. That's not me, whatever, and that's not me at all, and I have to say that, but yeah. Best independent game. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Outer Wilds, Overcooked 2, Sable, and Tunic. This is a curious one. I think the public is going to say, or the critics are going to say Ori and Will of the Wisps, just because it's a pretty popular, I'll say a franchise, even though it's the second game in the list. But I do think, or the second game in the series, I do think Ori and the Will of the Wisps will win this one. What do I think should win it? I don't know, maybe Tunic. It's the only game in that list that I'm even somewhat interested in at all. And having said that, I mean, Tunic is just like one of that weird isometric, I don't want to call it Zelda clone, but we see the obvious comparisons. So, best ongoing game. None of these games deserve anything. There needs to be no category for this shit whatsoever. So, anyway, best ongoing game. Destiny 2, one of the worst franchises to happen to gaming since the Xbox One, which was the worst thing to happen to gaming since the Wii U. So, I fucking hate Destiny. It's completely exposed in every single way if you've ever played the PC version, and that's why everything about Destiny is a joke, and anyone who plays Destiny is a joke. You know who you are. I was talking to you in the gym the other day. I'm talking to you. Anyway, For Honor. Forgot the game even existed. Forgot it was even a thing. Fortnite. We'll get back to that. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The game has almost been completely irrelevant at this point. Lately, anyway. And Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. So, what do I think is going to win this? It's very hard to say. I want to say Fortnite, because even though I have no interest in any of the games in this list, including Fortnite, when you look at what Fortnite has done, and what Fortnite is, and what it has become, and what it is currently doing, can you blame a critic for picking that? Yeah, you know what they like to use to choose, or to qualify a game. Almost made it through the whole video without a sneeze. Oh well. So, because fuck editing, am I right? Anyway, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Again, I hate what Rainbow Six has become. I hate what Ubisoft is, and I hate what they've done to anything with the Tom Clancy name, especially you, Splinter Cell. But, having said all that, with what Rainbow Six was when it launched, to what they've been doing and what they've been supporting with it, how popular they've actually made it, and how successful they've made it, and all the stuff going with Rainbow Six Siege in those years, I think that one probably deserves to win. Rainbow Six Siege, that is. I think that one deserves to win Best Ongoing Game. Will it? I don't know. It's 50-50 between Fortnite and Rainbow Six, and with Dick Writing Media be Dick Writing Media, it wouldn't surprise me if Fortnite was a little bit higher up that list, at least from their side of it. Now, there's special commendations for graphics, for sound, and innovation. I don't know what they're obviously not here. You know, I should have maybe waited till July 2nd next week, but whatever. It doesn't matter. They're only special accommodations. Realistically, let me take a guess. What do I think is going to have special accommodations for graphics? Well, I think we are going to have The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and Death Stranding. Those are the 3 games I think we're going to see on there for special accommodation for graphics. The reason I say that is because Cyberpunk 2077 was removed from that list. Oh, wait, no. I just remembered those games are allowed on there, just like the ones I listed, because special accommodations. That's curious, because I'd say all 4 of those games should make it, to be honest, but I don't know. We'll wait and see. Who knows how it's gonna go. Special accommodations for sound. I'm trying to think of any game that demonstrated like exceptional sound. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima? Maybe? I don't know. It's so hard to guess these kind of things. And a special accommodation for innovation. Believe it or not, the innovation one for this, I would say probably goes to Dreams. You know, the Media Molecule 3D Little Big Planet. I'd say that's probably the innovation one on there anyway. So, that's it for the moment. Let me know... Wait, no, that's not right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have to come back in whenever this actually happens. Does it say? Let me... winners will be announced July 2nd. Okay, so yeah, that's why obviously we can't talk about the special accommodation things because they would have already been given. So what we're going to do is we are going to remember all this. In a few days from now, we're going to look at everything that happens on July 2nd. Now I don't know if I'll make a video about it or anything, but it's going to be curious to compare what we picked here, both from my personal picks and my personal feel of deservation isn't a word. My feelings of deserving. There you go. Is that right? Fuck it, it doesn't matter. And what the actual game critics pick and what I predicted them to pick, because, well, we'll see how it goes. So let me know in the comment section as well below what you think is going to win this from both the game critic side of it and what you think should actually win it from your personal side of it. Anyway, that's all the usual. I won't give the regular old outro with the whole like and subscribe and blah 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 whatnot. Feel free to do that though. But we'll see how this goes, and it's going to be curious to see in a few days from now how on the money I was and how much did Dick ride the Switch and how much did Dick ride Destiny. So, peace out everyone. Thank you for watching.